Now let's talk about vigilantism, and I have been privileged to be joined by a lawyer, former Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana, and a father of many, Nana Ato Dadzie, Honorable Chief. Good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Very much.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, well,
good to see you. We won't let the old man rest.
Oh yeah,
yes. So we'll pull you
that
out
early. You know.
How are you doing these days?
I'm doing fine, thank God. You know, at the age, you know, you go to sleep and you have all the diabetes and hypertension and whatnot rocking you. You wake up in the morning, you say, thank God.
Thank God. Thank God. So far, so good.
Yeah.
What have you been hearing on the airwaves these days about vigilantism?
Well, not just hearing, seeing. I mean, many of us woke up to some graphics and coming out from Iowa, so Wagon, and it showed, you know, a group of unidentified persons, you know, attacking and brutalizing people. The pictures are there. Yeah, I mean, one didn't think that was Ghana, you know, because over the last how many years, there's been a lot of training of our police and the military on human rights and human rights abuses and whatnot, you know. A lot of training has gone. Kofi Annan Peace Center has gone out. So for a belated conduct like that, people were shocked. So it's like, where did these people come from? And clearly emblazoned on the trucks with police, SWAT. And it was very difficult to believe that was our police. You get me? So if they are not the police, who are they? And then the Minister for National Security comes out to say they are our people.
Right. For
me as a lawyer, I mean, that was a little shocking because whether I, as Brian Achampon, or we, the National Security, under our Constitution, Article 85 is very clear. It's not permitted.
Right.
The National Security Council does not have power and authority to constitute a force. National security is simply, at best, intelligence collecting agency, headed by the president, the vice president, and whatnot. They don't have command authority. You see, troops must always be under command and control.
Right.
If you have troops who are not under command and control and discipline of a specific nature, then they become a problem. You get me?
Is that what you see here?
Yes. I mean, well, the IGP, you know, the very first day said, these are not our men, you know?
Right.
They are not our men. Then I don't think anybody was suggesting that they were military personnel, you know. So the only thing that could possibly be was either that they were vigilantes, you know, militia, or Praetorian guards, or simply a band of, you know, unidentified persons who are creating mayhem. And that is why I came out to say that if the IGP, for instance, knows about their people, if they would turn out to be police and they behave this way, the IGP must resign.
Why?
Well, because the clear abuses of human rights were shown, you know. If they were not police, and up to today, we don't know who they are, then the IGP, and he doesn't know who they are, the IGP must resign. Either way, you know, because the security of the state has been vested in the president, national security, and the internal security is vested in the IGP.
Must the IGP alone go if per this analogy? Must just the IGP go because there's a national security minister, there's another national security minister at the presidency, there's a BNI boss, there's this, there's that, there's a chain of security couples who are supposed to have ensured that this did not happen. Yes. And it did happen.
It's a security failure, it's a breach, and in my statement, I said the IGP must go. Because the vehicles that were used were marked, emblazoned police.
Right.
Now, if they were not police, I've told you, then he needs to resign on grounds of principle. that somebody else is taking over his role, in the process bringing the police establishment into disrepute. You get me? You must force people to stop doing what they ought not to be doing.
The IGP has been appealing to the two political parties who are supposed to be having these, offshoots of vigilante groups. Many have called them hoodlums. He's appealing to them to disband them.
No.
Is that the right direction?
The IGP has a mandate, you see. Why he is very critical is that he has a mandate under the what do you call it, the law, his force, to maintain internal security. You see, so he cannot be appealing to this. I have this document. This is a speech I delivered recently at the Coalition for National Sovereignty. I have a compilation of all the appeals everybody else has made over the last 2 years, from the president, the IGP, the Minister for Interior, every Brian Achampo, statement by international entities, all the Catholic chiefs, CSOs, everybody is saying, and everybody said one thing: we should stamp out vigilantism. Two, we should punish vigilantism.
Why are we not able to do it, or why haven't we been able to do it?
Well, the IGP, I believe, or one of the deputy IGPs or so, I have a statement here, said that, well, they cannot act because of political interference.
Right.
This year. So we are unable to act because of political interference. You get me?
I get you. The IGP said recently that if we propose a political panacea or a solution to a situation, a security solution to a situation that's a political problem, we may be just massaging the sore and not treating it. He said it recently.
Yes, I'm saying.
So a suggestion that this is altogether political. If that is so, then why don't we go for the politicians? And we seem to be going for the IGP.
I'm saying that he has a statutory role, obligation, a constitutional obligation to maintain it. If people are not permitting you to do it, what do? You just sit down and say that. I've got it. It said 31st October 2017. It said, vigilantism, our hands are tied due to political interference. So says police PRO. That's David Okru.
David Okru, yes.
He's bemoaned the level of political interference that is affecting their discharge of duties. The underhand dealings of politicians have greatly hindered their fight against vigilantism in the country. The fear of being tagged and political interference from people with political authorities from this country is our problem. We've also identified the inability of people who seem to be affected to help the police investigate cases of this nature. I mean, we have entrusted. Look, we are talking, just a minute, sir. We've sovereignty under this constitution. That is the power that we ourselves have. We've all collectively given our power to the state, a government, voted a government to maintain law and order, so we can sleep and sleep in peace. Go to meetings. We have the right of association. Go to political meetings of our right. They will not be intimidated. Go and vote without being harassed or our votes being suppressed. Now, if it's not happening, somebody must take responsibility.
Is the IGP, or if you like, the police force, really independent, as is stated here? Because another ACP in the police service had mentioned the structure of the police council. He talks about the president, who appoints the IGP in consultation, of course. He talks about the vice president, who's the chairman of the police council. He talks about the interior minister, who is also a party person. He talks about, some other nominated members onto the police council who are party people. And so if you look at the structure of the police council, that must breathe down the neck of the IGP to do the right thing. It's a bigger chunk of it are party people. Is it about time we changed that provision in that constitution?
I wish I could join in supporting his view. I've seen it at the social media. And I think he makes very solid points, except that I disagree with the conclusion. You see, the Attorney General is also the Minister for Justice.
Right.
You see, the Constitution defines things in a certain way between the cold words and then the implementation, how things must actually work. But beyond it all, it is we need people, solid people who operate the system. You understand? The Constitution is very clear about the role of the police council. It says they shall, among other things, 202, I believe, they control and direct the IGP.
Right.
You get me? For the control and administration of the IGP. Now,
the kind of control.
Power. They have the control, over the IGP in that sense that you were saying. But first and foremost, the IGP is a professional man. He's a professional policeman.
How many times hasn't the president said to the IGP that make the laws work, go and arrest people?
Exactly.
And we haven't seen that.
Exactly.
How many times?
So if the president, I'm saying, and I have it, I've grabbed all the cuttings so many times. The president has said that vigilantism is a crime. This is what the president said. Vigilantism is a crime. Let's stop it. Let's crack down on it. But it's all happening. But the person who has the responsibility to crack down is all cracking the people down. What do we say to him?
Nana, it's one thing to say we condemn it, it's not good, and yet the parties, the NDC, the MPP, are holding on to whatever they call vigilante groups. They are holding on to it, and they say we condemn it, we don't like it, and whatever it is, it doesn't add up. The equation doesn't add up.
Yes, I agree with you, but it is the issue of impunity. You understand? Impunity. Impunity simply means that people do what they think that when they do, they will not be punished. The power to punish, to arrest and to punish is in the police.
So you think the IGP has failed in doing that?
Look, I have nothing personal against him. I'm saying that as a matter of principle, that we are sitting here today talking about the menace of vigilantism. In 2 years, the president has said the same thing.
Okay.
The minister for defense has said the same thing. Ambrose Derry, I have his statement here. He said, if you don't, if you are unable to deal with it, I will resign.
I remember that.
He said we resign. Indeed, at a point in case, he said the police will be disciplined. They'll be punished. He called the regional commander. He said, you will be punished if you don't stem the rising.
Where do we go from here? What do you propose we do? To the IGP first, to the vice president who is the chairman of the police council. What do you propose? Well,
I'm saying that. I've said last week or so, after seeing the event, I said that, look, first of all, we must set example. We must show a commitment to this particular cause, that is to stop this menace. If Mr. President, our president, in 2 years talks about stopping an event of such proportion, and it's not happening, it's sad, it's distressing. You understand? So he must crack the whip. He must, set some example by saying, Brian Achampon, as I said, must step down. The reason being simple. It's in my statement. He said we deployed him. He associated himself with a group.
There's a commission that's looking at it.
You say?
There's a commission, the Justice Short.
No, I'm not talking about the commission's work. I'm saying the day of the event.
When they
were saying yes. You see, he said we. I said, wow. So he knows the people. You understand?
Should he go too?
That was my statement. Because he will have to go for another reason, that he knows about the existence of that group is a problem. Because the Constitution in Article 85, Constitution Article 85 is absolutely clear that nobody, it said no agency, establishment or other organization concerned with national security shall be established except as provided under the Constitution.
Nana, thank you very much for your time. I'm most grateful. Unfortunately, we run out of time. But that's been Nana Ato Dadzie. He's a celebrated lawyer, distinguished one at that. He also holds a national honor. You can see that on his breast pocket right now. So former Chief of Staff of the Republic of Ghana. And he's been sharing his thoughts about how to stop or stamp vigilantism. He says the IGP must call the shots. He must go out there, skip the appeal and the pleas, and go right there into the thick of things and stop that thing.